Are you getting my point? So the power of God find a fruitful ground to operate by the agency of the Spirit. Then the Spirit of God can only be cultured, understand, relate with, maintain, sustain, hosted by an understanding of the secret place. See, whether you like it or not, even Babalawo himself understands the secret place more than many people. And every Babalawo, no matter how much you give him, he cannot leave his altar. No matter the Ghana must go of money you bring to a Babalawo, he still remains there in the bush. Sometimes it used to wonder me. All the ones that put suit and enter inside town to become pastors or fake prophets, they are actually not original Babalawo. They are actually affiliated. The real ones cannot leave their altar because they are oracles of a spirit. Oracles are not auditors. Oracles obey. They are slaves of a spirit. They give heirs to the utterances of a spirit. So they must be by the altar to hear. Oracles are the ones that administer counsel to others to do the biddings of the spirit. So you can be an extension of the operation of an oracle, and this may be your altar. Every time you must stand here so that you can hear the oracle speak. Because if you are not here, the oracle cannot speak. Why? Because everything about an altar is the secret place, which is the epicenter of the power of any spirit. So when you speak about power, you must understand the genesis and where it actually hosted. Power is hosted from a secret place upon an altar. That is why anytime they want to destroy people's life, they take their picture, take their name to an altar, because it's more potent in that altar. A man can meet you on the street and demonstrate power and let you be. But if the man want to mean you, he take your name, take you to an altar. And when they take you to that altar, carry out certain kind of sacrifice, you discover that bondage elongated. Every altar is serviced by priest, because it will require a priest to understand the ordinances of that spirit to service the altar to sustain the power. The administration of that power is done by a priest that understands the demand of the spirit. It's a journey. I just need you to follow to understand. So where we are sitting as believers, we are actually sitting upon the position of priest. And as priests, we must understand that the job of a priest is to be able to hear what God is doing and what God is saying, then pay the required kind of sacrifice to be able to bring what God is doing upon the face of the earth. The job of a prophet is nothing but to announce. He can come and inform and educate you to let you understand what the Spirit is saying. Then you are to pay the price. A priest does not have anything to do with you. A priest can ask God, what do I have to do for Akure to change? And God will tell him, this is what you have to do, O priest. And the priest will go and do it. A prophet will tell you, the Lord say you should do this so that Akure can change. So the prophet leave the altar. The priest remain in the altar. Are you getting the point now? In the day the prophet want to increase his strength, he maintained the balance of the altar. And that is why many prophets have been able to be skilled to understand when they should be priest and when they should be prophet, when to go out, when to remain inside. And so the power is actually in the secret place where the Spirit of God is hosted. Because every spirit is hidden in a secret place. Only those that dwell in that secret place can partake and be able to understand the Spirit and know how to administrate, because that is where the Spirit teach you what you ought to do. So when you go to the book of Psalms chapter 91, the Bible speaking said, he that dwelleth, right, in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. He that dwell. That means there is a requirement for a man to come to a point of abiding. And when we talk about the shadow of the Almighty here, we are talking about another kind of power referred to as episkaizo. Because anytime you see an overshadowing of the operation of God, is actually a dimension of the power of God that comes like a cloud. And you see, you can only trace that most times to the moment where heaven gates are open. Like in the days when Elijah was about to be taken by a wild wind, what happened is that the young man saw a chariot, and that chariot did not just move upon the face of the earth. The movement of the chariot stirred up an ordinances in the spirit, which opened a gate. And when it opened a gate, what happened was spirit transport. That kind of an operation is what we refer to as a piskaizo, where the overshadowing power of God came and it has to take a man out of the earth system. And when you study, you're going to realize there was a time where Jesus Christ was at the Mount of Transfiguration. As he was praying. The Bible says his countenance was changed. And immediately his countenance was changed. The Bible says suddenly a cloud descended. And when that cloud descended, what happened was that Moses and Elijah came and they began to speak unto him. That descending of that cloud that causes that transfiguration from within him was actually a dimension of the power of God referred to as episkaizo. That it came to a point where there is another operations of God when a man dwell in a secret place isolated between him and God, that a cloud can cover him. Because we saw in Psalms 91 that anyone that decides to dwell in the secret place of the Most High, he will come to a point where he will abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Where is the shadow of the Almighty? It's not upon the face of the earth. So the secret place of the Most High is like an altar. The shadow of the Almighty is actually a place in heaven. So when a man dwell upon the altar, upon the face of the earth, he appear in the place in heaven. And when you appear in that place in heaven, what happened to you is apostolic speaking and ordination. And when they begin to speak to you, the vibration happened upon the face of the earth. So if you want your life to matter in heaven, what you do is to look for an altar upon the face of the earth and dwell there. After a while, you appear in heaven. And they begin to talk about you, and encounters, visitations, all kinds of things begin to happen because your matter is discussed in heaven. Have you seen my servant Job? They asked. A time came when men were dwelling upon different quarters, and Job did not appear. That is a dimension of God referred to as episkaizo. That it's possible for a man to find a location and dwell there. As the man dwelled there, praying and fasting and studying, suddenly he leave that realm and appear under the shadow of the Almighty.